Hi everyone, so today we're going to try and cover the Tukey tokenomics in a very high overview. We have a lot more details, info articles on the site, but we really want to just give you an overview of what the Tukey token is about and how we build the token economics around it. So first of all, we need to understand that Tukey network is a social distributed economy or a decentralized social network with an economic principle behind it. And it is designed to be a global economy. Now, for any viable, stable token economy, there must be an underlying asset. And in Tukey network, social reputation is the underlying asset. So, whatever your role in the network, you can be a contractor, and/or a referrer, and/or a converter, an integrator, or a miner in the future, browser-based miner. As each of those roles, you can earn or lose, but you cannot buy reputation. And it's a very granular reputation. It's going to be a category-based reputation, 4-level taxonomy, 1,600 categories spanning all walks of life. Reason is, if you're very good in referring cars to your friends, you might not be equally as good in referring beauty products, for example. So it's really important to keep it, first of all, on a role-based approach, and within the role in a category-based approach. And reputation is an asset, it's an underlying asset, and the more substantially valuable, inherently valuable the asset is, the less you can just trade it, but you must earn it, the more stable the economy will be. Therefore, the thing that the economy revolves around is everybody earning or losing reputation. And having reputation on the network means monetary benefits. So if you're a contractor with higher reputation, you might need less staking requirements when launching new campaigns. You might be able to pay less fees to higher reputation integrators. You may be able to attract higher profile referrers and converters to your campaign. As referrer, if you have a specific category in which you have high reputation, you can be eligible for higher earnings, for leading to conversions in these categories. Also, you might be eligible to participate in campaigns where there is a minimum threshold reputation requirement to be considered as a valid referrer for that campaign. As a converter, again, you, like Airbnb, you must have some kind of reputation upwards to be eligible to, be able to rent an apartment. Similar here, you might have exposure to more campaigns if you have higher reputation. And also, you might get higher discounts in campaigns where they reward higher reputation clicks. As an integrator, as a service provider, having more reputation means you will be able to attract more contractors to choose you to provide services in their campaigns, and you might be able to charge higher fees for those services. And as a miner, in the future general purpose protocol, where we're going to have browser-based minings, having higher reputation as a miner will be meaning, along with the proof of stake portion of it, meaning higher reputation might lead you to have higher chances to being randomly elected to function as miner and basically earn more Tukey for renting your browser's I/O and memory, etc. So this is a really important part of the network, and we think it's an incredible privilege that we can have building some kind of an economy with a real asset. Because without a real asset beneath it, it's really hard to build any viable economy. So this is really very core. Now, regarding how we use Tukey in the network, this is another question I think is very important to answer in a clear way. So the usage of Tukey is basically in a lot of ways. So first of all, it is required to launch campaigns. When you need to, if these are non-monetary campaigns, you need to budget them in advance. For example, if you're looking for lead generation, installs, signups, anything that doesn't require purchases in the end, requires initial budgeting. And this requires you to purchase or deposit Tukey. In addition, in some types of campaigns, there will be initial additional staking requirements in order to ensure the campaign outcomes, ensure proper behavior of the contractor, and basically also to facilitate all kinds of dispute resolutions. Second thing is discounting payments. So basically, whenever you have Tuki in your hands, the idea is that if you want to purchase on the network, you can do so with lower rates. Okay, so the idea is that Tuki, although we don't enforce it being a method of payment, you can use it as a method of payment if you have Tuki, and you can have increased payment parameters in terms of the value you get for your Tuki, in respect to other currencies, just because it's the native currency of the network. Third thing is earnings. So a very strong part of our token economics is that every participant on the network, okay, what we before described here, basically in one word, means participation reputation. Whenever you provide services to the network in a way that generates value for contractors or for the network at large, whenever you do positive service for the network, you can earn participation reputation for that. It can be successfully participating as a referrer or as a converter or successfully launching campaigns. Even when you have Tuki rewards, Tuki remunerations inside the campaigns and you choose to hodl them there and not to withdraw them, you contribute to the stability of the network. All those things contribute to your participation reputation. And this allows you to basically earn network level remunerations. So there are, of course, the campaign level remunerations, which most are already familiar with. That means you're a referrer, you earn payments or income for providing services to the contractor. You earn those remunerations in Tuki. But also, with every action that you do on the network, you're also not just providing good service to campaigns, you're providing good services to the network at large. And for that, you earn participation reputation, which makes you eligible for the network level remunerations, right? We have a 20% network compensation pool that is basically used to promote this network-wide service providing by participants. Next is integrator fees and stakes. So integrators are basically for-profit service providers that have a business model and they offer their services to contractors, and they earn a fee per conversion in the campaigns where they serve. Now, the fees that they make, their business model is to make fees per conversion. Of course, they must be elected by the contractor. This is where their reputation comes in, etc. But the fees that they earn in Tuki. And they also, because they are network level service providers, they also require a very large stake. Both of these are in Tuki. They are earned in Tuki and paid in Tuki, or staked in Tuki. And next is the network tariff, which is very closely related to integrator fees. Because integrators make fees on the network level, they have a network level business model. And the idea is to closely couple between the fees that they make to the viability of the economy, of the Tuki economy. And this is why from every fee an integrator makes, a network tariff is taken out and sent to a deep freeze pool. That basically is taken out of circulation for a decade, which is then used to replenish the network remuneration pool. So when we launch, we're going to have an initial 20% of the token supply in this remuneration, network level remuneration pool, which is used to ensure a working economy. But then after a decade, it will be depleted, and then whatever was frozen by the network tariff from the integrator fees will be used to replenish the network level remuneration pool. And last is pause mining. So proof of stake mining, once the general purpose protocol is live, users will be able to basically choose to add their browsers, their machines as miners, which is basically just selling your browser's I/O a bit, your device's memory and CPU a bit, to help other browsers acting out smart contracts in our multi-party state networks to monitor state between channels, between state channels of browsers. So this is something that can earn you to keep passively, but you do need to, you're basically providing service by allocating your browsers and mining the network. And this is going to be a proof of stake-based, reputation-based mining. So you need to stake some Tuki in order to kind of ensure your positive behavior as a miner. And of course, reputation can have a role in how much you need to stake exactly. So that's about the usage of Tuki. Of course, this is kind of the main list. And as we progress, we're going to fine-tune these and maybe add more verticals. But these are the major portions of how Tuki can be used. And these basically relate to all portions of the economy, all portions of the network, which means that the usage of Tuki really encompasses the entire network. And that basically means that it keeps the economy viable and strong from all sides, so to speak. Last thing I want to speak about in this video is the strength of the Tuki token and how we ensure the strength of the Tuki token. Now, we explain this a lot more in depth in our dedicated videos on the token economics, methodologies and mechanisms. And you're all welcome to read on the internal circulation mechanism article. It's about a 15-minute read. But in short, okay, the Tuki strength mostly relies on that we've designed this, we've engineered the system so that per conversion, per withdrawal, and per campaign on the network, we generate auto demand, auto distribution, auto hodl, and auto hedging. For example, each time there's a monetary conversion on the network, somebody donates to some campaign, somebody purchases some service or product on the network, or whenever there's a pre-budgeted campaign, okay, happens the same thing. But for example, if there's some donation that just happened, or somebody just bought some tokens, so a portion of that ether, for example, that is put in as a conversion amount is taken as the referral reward, right? Because for each conversion, we're rewarding or we're paying for the referrers who provided the service of reaching that converter. So part of that ether of that conversion is taken out and automatically sent from the campaign contract to the Tuki exchange contract, which then basically uses Bancor price discovery mechanism and basically buys the ether and then sells back the Tuki to the campaign. So that's an auto demand, because we need the contracts auto buy Tuki in order to have the referral payment at hand. Then the campaign contract, which received that Tuki, then distributes that Tuki to the balances of all the referrers on the chain. This is a very strong, very strong part of the token economics, and let's just take 1 minute to understand why. In regular currency-based economies, and Tuki is designed to be no different in essence, even though it's not a geographical economy but a distributed utility layer economy, but in each currency-based economy, the more you distribute the token, the stronger the economy becomes. So, if you look at most marketplaces, there's just basically a one-to-one transaction. You buy something from me, I send you some money. But in Tuki, because we have referral chains, each time there's a conversion, some of the conversion is taken out, Tuki is bought with that ether, and then that Tuki is distributed. That atomic action that happens per conversion, that takes some Tuki and distributes it, makes the Tuki economy stronger on the atomic level. It makes the Tuki economy stronger with each and every conversion on the network. And of course, this is happening within the campaign. So these Tukis that have been distributed to the balances of the referrers are kept or hodled automatically inside the campaign contract until the referrers decide to withdraw them. They can do so at any time. But there's also an auto-hedging mechanism. That means that whenever that ETH was sent and used to buy Tuki, that ETH was then also sent from the exchange contract to Kyber network and swapped for DAI. That means that the dollar value of the rewards at the time of conversion is guaranteed. It's hedged. That means that you can safely hodl and earn more participation reputation for this because you're making the economy stronger when you're doing this. You can safely hodl your earnings inside Tuki campaigns because you know that whenever you want, you can withdraw them as DAI per the dollar value of the conversion at the time of conversion. So these are very strong mechanisms, and they act with each and every conversion, with each and every withdrawal, with each and every campaign. For example, even if you choose to withdraw your rewards as Tuki, you can always do that. But then there will be an auto-demand mechanism, because then the liquidity depth of the internal circulation in the contracts will drop below because you just withdraw some Tuki to your wallet. And then there will be an auto-demand which will buy more Tuki from exchanges to level up the liquidity. So, of course, when you withdraw it as DAI, that's fine. That DAI is ready for you. That DAI is a stable, hedged, anti-volatility mechanism. You're free to. The time that you kept Tuki as Tuki in the campaigns helped the network, that's great. You wanted them to withdraw it as DAI, you're free to do so. The economy becomes stronger because of it. These are anti-volatility mechanisms, and basically, whatever you do, just by using the network, just by running the Tuki campaigns, the network becomes stronger. And this entire mechanism is planned to act as a baseline. So regardless of speculative trading in exchanges, the more Tuki network will be used, the stronger the economy will become. Last two things we want to discuss today also relate to network strength and to the Tuki economy strength. So this is something I want to emphasize, although I've described it just a few minutes ago. We have an integrator business model. That means that integrators are for-profit business service providers that have a business model on the network. But using the network tariffs, we create a very tight binding between their business model and the viability of the Tuki economy. The Tuki economy, because of those tariffs, becomes stronger with each and every fee that these private for-profit service providers make. So this is a very strong binding, which makes the economy stronger each time a for-profit service provider earns a fee on the network. And last thing is, again, emphasizing the network level remuneration. This is something that, of course, each and every campaign is an atomic unit where referrers come and they serve contractors in basically finding their target audience for achieving any business result, and they get compensated for that, and that's great. But by these and other actions that referrers, converters, integrators, miners, contractors do, they also help the network. And we're going to have a whole bunch of parameters by which we measure this. And these parameters will basically contribute to an eligibility score that periodically will basically measure how much participation reputation you've earned in that last period. For example, each month we're going to measure how much reputation you've earned, how much participation reputation you've earned that last month, and also take into account the previous 2 months, just so you're not blocked out and there's some kind of memory in the network of your participation. And according to that, that monthly remuneration amount of Tuki will be distributed network-wide. This is a very strong mechanism, again, designed to promote a work-in economy. An economy where most of the value and the strength and the stability comes from actual users actually participating, actually providing service of value to make the economy stronger and to make the network more secure, more viable economically. So these are the basics of Tuki token economics. You want to read more, please check out our other videos, explainers, articles, etc. Thanks for listening, and catch you later.